Hey guys, it's Holly again. This is part 2 to making a good story and how to tell a good story in order to better accomplish your goals if you're in business. And we got to just reflect back over. I got my notes here. Some of the top key points: using details, sharing your personal story. Tell your story without words. By using videos and such. Admit your flaws and bring it to light because that makes you more relatable. Use other people's stories of success. And so we're gonna move forward. That was like the first ones there. So another good topic for great storytelling. It brings together a desperate community through a shared experience, making one person feel like they're a part of something bigger. On the news, you hear about tornado victims. Okay. Because where I'm from, we're in the North America, the southern part. We're bad for tornadoes and such. And whenever one of our communities gets hit, everybody comes together and we band together as a huge community. One state or other states even around will all come together to help out. For example, earlier this year, the Edmond area of it's over by Oklahoma City. They got demolished. I mean, a huge tornado came out and just ripped it down. And we had people coming from as far as North and South Dakota, all the way up from Texas, people out from California, people all the way from Florida was coming in to help out. Be it the Red Cross, be it, FEMA came out to help. And even so, that was a big thing that happened. People can relate to whenever hurricanes hit. People can relate to earthquakes hitting. Things like that, typhoons, tsunamis, whatever. Those are the things that make an impact. So when you feel like you're a bigger part of something that you can relate to, then that's a great storytelling device. So moving on, numbers can help tell your story easier by putting in perspective to amounts when you're dealing with more emotionally charged subjects more objectively than words. See, I could tell you that say 65,000 people are without jobs. But to make that impact stick, if I was to write the number 65,000 up here, a company lays off 65,000 people, or a brand, a business goes out. That perks your ears. You hear that because people are so drawn to numbers as a representation of the words. So whenever you're doing like a SlideShare presentation, if you're going to be talking to people or you want to really make that impact stick, put those numbers up there because that right there is going to be the thing that people will resonate with really quickly. Because humans, for whatever reason, we're drawn closer to the symbols that represent the numbers more so than the words. Because it's more viable, it's it's a shortcut. People are always looking for shortcuts. Okay. Number 8, everyone has a story to tell. If you approach the conversation with an open mind, you can find the gold nuggets and make them interesting. So when you're listening to the people that are leaders in your company, and you're thinking, oh, it's the same boring story, I've heard it 30 times. It's the same story, but is it the same message? That's what people are forgetting. They worry about the aesthetics of the presentation. They worry about if his tie's got spots on it, or they worried if he's wearing shoes or not. Who gives a damn, right? You need to be listening for the context. Don't worry about the aesthetics. If I had a fly here buzzing me, would that annoy you? Probably. It would annoy the crap out of me. But are you getting the message? Well, if you're focused on the fly, that means your brain's not doing what it needs to be doing, which is comprehending and soaking in the information. So when people are telling you stories, open up, look at it through objectively, the who's, the what's, the when, the where, the why, and the how, and look at it through how can I use this in my perspective of where I want to go with my life, or how can I use this to relate to someone else later? Because if you miss the gold nuggets now, you're not going to be able to remember them later. There's one of our leaders in our company that says, you can either learn the lesson by experiencing it, or you can learn it from your mentors, because if they've already made the mistakes, why should you make the second mistake? So I'm trying to cut out some of it right now. Okay, 9, be honest. People can see through a BS story. If you can't keep congruency with how you are, what has happened, and where you've been in life, it's like lying to a judge. A judge can see through it, People are human. We can see a BS story. I'm sorry if people don't understand what BS is. I like to say it's bull snot, but some people will connotate as other ways. So, you know, be real. Keep it real. Because, you know, you can't tell a lie twice and make it sound just as good. Unless you've repeated this lie so many times you believe it. And then we got to talk about other things. Number 10, create an experience worthy of being told if you wanted to go viral. For instance, let's just throw out something crazy like a broke grandma raising her grandkids suddenly finds her lost son, who steps up and has a lot of money, that's able to reach out and help, you know, his siblings or nephews or whatever. You know, that's something that people would be like, wow, that is so cool. You know, or like there's a leader in our company, he actually found a lost brother just by Facebook. You know, he was able to connect and reach out through social media. Would he have thought about doing that prior to being in the company? Probably not. You know, he may have, but would he have had that big of a reach? Probably not. But whenever he was just starting out, you know, he really was just getting the momentum going, and then boom, his face was out everywhere, and he was able to connect with a lost family member. How awesome is that, right? And see, just me telling you that story, you're like, huh, he found his brother. That is so cool. You know, what if you heard a story about somebody who was, you know, for instance, we had our company event that we go to, and the Boston bombing happened. And if you haven't heard about that, you can research it. It happened. There was a pressure cooker or something involved, but I don't really know the gist of it because we was at the event when this happened. But the Boston Marathon, it was bombed. And the moment that we heard about that happening, our whole company got together and they bought these bracelets that's bracelets for Boston is what we called it, and we sold it at a small amount, but we donated all the money to the American Red Cross there in Boston to help the people that were affected. So, you know, and we've helped Habitat for Humanity out of Austin. I'm not even sure where all we've actually helped because, you know, there's so many people in our genre of business that they've got their own things going. I know somebody is building water wells down in South American countries. Somebody else is building a school. You know, so whenever you stop and you look at, you know, things and the leaders and what they're doing, sometimes you don't always know what their story is, but I guarantee they're doing something to help somebody else out. So before you prejudge and make that crazy decision to be like, I'm not going to listen with the guys, listen to their gold, because they're going to teach you so much. Why would they be, how can they help people if they're not doing what they're talking, right? So keep your stories genuine. Just to kind of go back, everyone has a story to tell, just got to listen. Numbers can help because numbers are easier to conceive than words, obviously. And great storytelling brings together desperate people through a shared experience, be it, you know, a bad experience or a good experience, you know. So just remember, whenever you're reaching out to people, talking to people, letting them know more about you, relate to them on their level, because we all have a story to tell. You know, everybody starts with birth, but where we end up in life is death. But the cool stuff that happens in the middle, that's the part we want to hear about, right? This is Holly, Tag Team Moms. If you found this informative, leave comments below. I'm not even sure where I'm going to put this video, but if it helps you, share it. Give it to somebody else.